In today's video, we're going to be reviewing Carman's protein nut bars. Specifically, these ones here. Let's go. Hi, I'm Alex, a sports dietitian and nutrition coach. Welcome again to my channel. Great to have you here. So the reason that I'm reviewing these today is because protein-based bars are so popular and they're very much marketed as a health food, diet food, whatever you want to call it. They're marketed there to help get you results.
Sorry, I only eat food in bar form. When you concentrate food, you unleash its awesome power, I'm told. That's why I'm compressing 5 pounds of spaghetti into one handy mouth-sized bar. Hospital, please.
But is that true? And even if it's true, is this one here fitting the bill of what a protein bar should be? That is what we're going to answer today. We're going to look at what it tastes like, what the nutrition is like, all those kind of factors, and tell you, is it actually worth purchasing some of these as a snack? So first of all, is protein bars the key to getting results? No, they're just a food that can help you get your protein intake up. Okay, there's nothing magical about them. I don't always eat them. Sometimes I do. Some of my clients do. Some of them don't. It doesn't really matter. It's just part of your nutrition. However, there is no denying that they're super popular and that there's so many different options out there under the sun, and that the word protein or high protein is used as a marketing ploy for a lot of products to get people to buy them. Well, is this one of them? Well, let's see. I'm going to open one up, taste it, and then we're going to go into the breakdown of all those different factors. So first of all, you can see that this packet, you can get a bigger, like a bulk pack as well, but this is the standard pack. You get 5 of them in it, okay? So let's open it up and see what we get. Okay, so it's a bar, pretty self-explanatory, okay? You get a bar inside there, and it's a protein nut bar. So obviously it's gonna have a lot of nuts in it, so keep that in mind when purchasing, obviously. But it says here already, I can see 10 grams per bar. Obviously it's talking about protein, so obviously they're marketing the protein for it. They're saying this is high protein, this is something that you should be eating if you want more protein. Okay, so we'll look at the rest of the nutrition later, but let's first open it up. So the flavor I went with is salted dark chocolate and almond, just because it's a standard flavor, one that's been around for a while. And full disclosure, I have tried it in the past. It's been a while since I've technically had it, but I've tried it in the past, so I know the general gist of what I'm going to be tasting. But I want to do a full breakdown to actually review it properly and tell you, is it actually worth it, generally speaking. Also, it's not the only flavor. There's a bunch of other flavors, as you can see up here. There's a bunch of other flavors that I didn't review because it's more limited editions and all this sort of stuff, but there's some really nice ones out there. Or at least they sound nice. Haven't tasted them, but they sound nice. I nearly bought them, but I was like, no, I'm gonna get this one because at least I'm safe to say that you're probably gonna be able to find it. Okay, so let's grab it and open it up and show you what it looks like. Okay, so hopefully you can see that properly. So it's kind of like, if you're familiar with muesli bars, it's kind of like a muesli bar, but a more of a nut-based one, and it's apparently got more protein. Okay, so that's kind of what it is. You see like a little bit of chocolate kind of put all over it, but it's all based on like a nut bar. It's quite a dense bar. Okay, it's quite dense, slightly malleable, but quite dense. So let's give it a taste. Okay, so give it a taste, and honestly, yeah, it's tasty. It's just as I remember, a tasty bar. Obviously, if you don't like salted dark chocolate and almond flavor, you get another one. A lot of these things are just based on what your different flavor preferences are, so choose the one you think that you would enjoy more. There's a whole bunch of flavors, as I said. But overall, the first thing to do is it's got the expected mouthfeel. It's a bit hard, but not hard that you can't chew through it. It's, it's more of a dense bar, and it's very nutty. Okay, so already you can kind of see that just from the packet telling you what's in it. But taste-wise, it's still good. Like I eat it, and I'm like, oh, I actually like this. I could keep eating this. So taste-wise, it's quite good. So with that said, let's break it down into its individual factors. Okay, so what we're going to be reviewing is the following. Okay, so the 5 factors that we're going to be reviewing, that we do every single episode of this diet food review series, is number 1, we're going to be reviewing the taste. Does it actually taste freaking good? Number 2, nutrition. What's the nutrition like? Is it actually qualifies itself as being a decent snack option? Number 3, what's the portability or practicality for it? Can you just kind of take it around with you easily? Number 4, cost effectiveness. Is it actually cost effective to buy, or is it a bit on the expensive side? And number 5, satiety. Would it actually keep you full? Is it actually something that will keep you full during the day if you were to have it as a snack, as part of your diet plan? Things like this we need to answer, so let's get right into it. Okay, so first the taste. Like I said, I did a bit of a taste test, and it's quite nice. It's got that nutty flavor, so if you enjoy like nutty kind of products, you'll enjoy this. And it gives you a little bit of that chocolate, the dark chocolate. The nut flavor is stronger than the dark chocolate flavor, so keep that in mind. Don't expect that it's going to taste like a chocolate bar with nuts. Okay, do not expect like a Snickers bar, not what it's going to taste like. But it's still going to taste quite nice. It gives you that nice blend of savory and sweet, enough that it's going to satisfy that craving for one or the other as a snack. But at the same time, it's also, the texture is different to maybe some bars you might have tried in the past, especially protein bars. So keep that in mind, and then keep that in mind when you're tasting it, because it's going to be a bit different. But just flavor-wise, just the taste and the overall feel when I'm eating it, it's quite nice. And we give it a solid 8 out of 10, okay? You can't really fault it. It's not a 9 or 10. I mean, it's not like a full-on taste sensation, like I eat it, oh my God, I can't, I eat the whole packet straight away. It's not like that, although when you're hungry, you will probably keep wanting to eat them. It's more so that it doesn't have that huge taste sensation, but it's very much a solid flavor, quite nice, 8 out of 10. Okay, so now nutrition, which is one of the ones that people most want to know about. They're like, okay, Alexa, you're a dietitian, is this a good product? Okay, I get asked all the time. I get, my family asks me about snacks and stuff like that. Like, is this a good product to have? Is it worth it? Things like that. Now, it's all contextual. At the end of the day, what's nutritious or what fits someone's nutrition plan, it's all contextual. For one person, this might not be ideal. For another person, it could be perfectly fine. And then that, from the general populace to the athletes, varies quite a bit as well. But I'm just going to talk about, if you're an active individual or an athlete, is it something that's pretty much viable to be considered a health food and marketed as a health food? So let's look at it. Okay, so I don't know if you'll be able to see it. If you can't, apologies, I'll be reading it out anyway, but if you can pause it and you can read it. Okay, so pretty easy. So looking at it, first of all, we're going to look at it per bar. There's no point looking at it any other way. There's no point going per 100 grams. You'll be eating it per bar or per multiple bar. Okay, so we're going to look at it per bar. Per bar, you get 190 calories. That's actually on the lower side compared to some other protein bars that I've seen on the market. So first of all, for calories, it's pretty decent. It's actually quite a nice little breakdown. Protein, 10.4. So protein bar is one of those things that there has to be a certain threshold for me to consider it a protein bar. Now that threshold is 10 grams, but it's not like the most traditional protein bar where it gives you about 20 grams of protein. The more sports supplement style protein bars out there. It's not like that. It's more of like a balance between a normal kind of snack bar and a protein bar in one, where it gives you still a decent amount of protein. So if you were to have it as a snack, it would give you a bit of a boost of protein, most definitely. But it's not like a protein bar like those other ones like BSCs and stuff like that really kind of overhaul your whole protein intake. But 10.4 for what it is, like a nutty kind of bar, that's actually pretty good. And for 190 calories, that's actually pretty decent for a bar, because bars tend to be on a higher calorie side sometimes. So yeah, 10.4 grams of protein. For fats, it's got 11 grams, so on the higher side, but that's because of the nuts. Saturated fat's not that high. Carbohydrates, so each bar gives you about 10, 11 grams. That's pretty much a low carb snack, pretty much. It's not low, like I said, 0 carbs, but it's pretty low still. It's not that high. Now, this is a big one. Dietary fiber, 3.6. So for every bar that you eat, you get 3.6 grams. That's a lot. That's a very decent whack of fiber in one little bar. And sodium's not much. There's not that much sodium that you have to really worry about. Really, the kind of main things we'll look at is calories, protein, and then fiber. And to be honest, they're all pretty good, okay? For what it is, it's all pretty good. So 190 calories, 10, 11 grams of protein, and 3 to 4 grams of fiber. That's pretty solid. So honestly, if I were to give that a rating for nutrition, I'd give that as a health food snack. I'll give that a solid 9 out of 10, okay? And I'm close to giving it a 9.5, but I don't want to be too hasty. We'll give it 9 out of 10. It's still a pretty good rating. Okay, so now portability or practicality. So portability and practicality is kind of like if you're an athlete and you throw this in your bag as a snack, can you take it around easily and have it later on? Honestly, more or less, yes. Like when you think about it, you can throw in like the whole thing and have it in your bag if you want. Obviously having chocolate on there, you don't want to put it somewhere where it's going to be too hot, but it's not that chocolatey that it's going to be like a problem area for you. But if you just like, drop the whole packet there. So if you just get like a bar and you just chuck it in your bag, or take it around with you in your lunchbox. Very easy, very portable, will last for ages. Look at it, it's like, in a nice little packet. It's got a bunch of ingredients there that are not that perishable. It's solid. It's solid for portability. Honestly, 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 for portability. because you can't really fault it. The only thing that didn't give it a 10 was the fact that technically it does have a bit of chocolate, so if you were to throw it in a bag and have it in places where it's a bit hotter, you might then open it up and it gets all over your hands and you're like, ooh, and you get angry. That's the only reason. But 9 out of 10 is pretty solid, as I keep saying. Okay, so on to cost effectiveness. Now, you get 5 bars and it costs about, when it's not on sale, which it frequently is from what I've seen, it costs about $6.30. That's here in Australia in just the general supermarkets, Coles, Woolies, that sort of stuff. So for cost effectiveness, I mean, 6.3 when you look at it for, 6.3 for a snack, well, yes, but if you break it down into each individual bar, and as long as you portion it in that way, it turns out to be just over $1 for each bar. So that's still pretty solid. I mean, any kind of health kind of bars and stuff are always going to have a bit more of a high premium on them. And being that they're a name brand, that they're Carman, so obviously going to cost a bit more. You can obviously get other brands that are cheaper. So you can get equivalent things that are cheaper. For example, Aldi might have a version, maybe. Coles and Woolies always come out with their own versions of things. I just don't know if there's a protein version. That's why this one's a bit more on the unique side, because it's a nut bar protein version, so it's pretty good for that regard. But overall cost effectiveness is pretty good. I mean, 6.3, 5 bars, just over $1 each bar. So I mean, just over $1 for a snack. It's going to be a lot cheaper than going out and buying convenience food on the go when you need it, or things like that, or individual snacks on the go. So it's definitely not like a full-on high cost effectiveness score, because it still could be cheaper, but it's still pretty solid. And give it about a 7 out of 10 for cost effectiveness. Okay, and finally, satiety. How full can this keep you as a snack? Honestly, I've already just eaten just half the bar. As you saw, I didn't eat the whole bar, and already it's kind of giving that satisfied feeling. Like obviously I could eat the rest of it, and I will be eating it, of course, but it's already giving me that satisfied feeling because of the mouthfeel, the nuts, the fiber, all that sort of stuff keeping me full. It's got a bunch of fiber and it's got a decent amount of protein. 2 factors that make a snack very, very filling. And I can talk from experience. I've had these in the past. They're quite filling, okay? They're quite good for that regard, for keeping you full on the go, or as part of a snack of something else you may be having. Maybe a fruit and this. Maybe this and a tin of tuna. Maybe this and some yogurt. Whatever it may be, you can couple it with different snacks to make it even more filling, of course. But just by itself, the satiety is pretty good. Like I said, protein and fiber together equals magic when it comes to satiety. So that can't really be it can't be a surprising thing that one of these bars will keep you going during the day. So it's pretty good for satiety, unless you're obviously hardly eating anything all day and this is all you eat. That's a different story. But as part of a good strategic plan, including something like this as part of your snack, it's pretty solid. So rating for satiety, just because everyone's different and can't be too hasty with it, I would give it a solid 8 out of 10. For a snack, it's pretty solid. Not a 9 or 10, because that's very hard to achieve for satiety, but it's definitely not below an 8. An 8 out of 10 for satiety, that's pretty good. Okay, so there you go. Now you know the different ratings for this. Now, what's the verdict? Overall, do I recommend this? Well, you probably already know the answer, considering that I gave it pretty much high scores across the board, but I definitely do recommend this. There's different flavors. There's even the normal version that's not protein based, but honestly, if you can go for the protein, there's no harm in getting a bit of extra protein in your day, so go for the protein version. So it's a good accessible protein that's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. For example, those typical sports nutrition protein bars can cost you a lot more for a packet of say 5, or even just individually, it will add up very quickly. So it's more of a general protein based snack rather than a typical protein bar, and it works really well for that purpose. So yes, I definitely would recommend. It's a solid snack that if you can find a flavor that you enjoy and have it around in your house, it can be a great way to really optimize your nutrition, specifically from the fiber and the protein front. That's really where it's going to really kind of help you kind of elevate your nutrition if those are problem areas for you. Now, if they're not problem areas for you, well, you can make the judgment call. You just want a nut bar, protein bar as a snack, awesome. Have this, it's solid, tastes good, nutrition's good, portability is good, cost effectiveness is decent, and of course, satiety, it does keep you full. So having these like in your drawer at work, really solid choice. So now what I want to know is, have you tried these? Have you tried these Carman's high protein nut bars? Let me know in the comments below and let me know which flavor and what you thought of it. Did you actually enjoy it? Now, if you enjoyed today's review, please hit the like button, show this video some love. And before you forget, do not forget to subscribe, okay? Do not forget to subscribe to the channel, as well as hitting that bell so you can stay in the loop whenever I drop a video like these reviews. Until next time, stay classy, have a good one, see you later.